Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM. Here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the Samoan submission machine, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Ah, yeah. I used to Coca-Cola clutch. Oh, yeah, because nothing says comeback. Nothing says I'm here to take over. Nothing says pinnacle of the brand like fighting Titus and Apollo. Nothing says I'm here to make a statement like beating up the lower mid-card.
That was weird. I agree.
I think they wasted a shocker Joe comeback on just come out and talk and then fight Apollo Crews.
I don't usually fantasy book, but I fantasy booked Joe's return. And I think I did a better job than the writing team did.
I guarantee you did.
Do you want to get to that here in a little bit?
Yeah, sure. You just called me the Samoan submission machine, so I thought I'd just throw that out there. I should also throw this out there. I watched Raw in 2 parts, and the second half of Raw, I skimmed a lot, and I was watching it this morning at 4 a.m. And here's why. My wife came downstairs last night after getting the kids all settled in and immediately demanded that I turn wrestling off so we could watch Stranger Things. And normally I would complain and put up a fight and just go to another room and watch wrestling, but it's Stranger Things, and I couldn't. I'm so in love with that show that I was like, I'll just get up earlier and watch wrestling in the morning.
Hey, that was another one, if I'm not mistaken, you thanked me for.
Absolutely. You put me onto the Stranger Things train, and season 2 so far, no spoilers, I'm only halfway through, and it is darn near perfect.
We're 3 episodes in.
Okay. I'm 2 ahead of you. So we'll just say we like it and move on from there.
Yeah, I feel like it's good enough. So, yeah. You're never one for, by the way, happy Halloween, everybody. You're never one for dressing up, are you?
I am and I'm not. Like, definitely not in the morning, not for the morning show, because not a lot of people can see me. Today would have been a good day because I had some interviews and people came in. But typically, people don't see me in the morning, and I'd have to get up earlier to do it. So I didn't dress up, and I totally no-sold your Mario costume, which is not nice of me at all because you look amazing today.
Oh, thanks, big guy.
Beep boop 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 boop.
Hold on, that's enough. That's a licensed song you got there, pal.
Oh boy! Well, isn't that a licensed look you have there?
No, I mean, you can dress up like a character. You just can't be humming music. I get meetings about this nonsense. This is not a joke. I get meetings about everything. Was that
too much? Beep beep beeps, or do you think we're good?
I think you're going to be good. Well, I just when you start doing real music, stuff that is licensed, I start squirming. All right, so I did watch all of Raw last night, and I took some notes, had lots of thoughts. Do you feel like you digested the show? Like, did you absorb it? Are you good?
I absorbed the main pieces. The in-between stuff, like if you start talking about Elias and Jason Jordan, I know stuff happened, but I was like emptying the dishwasher this morning when that was going on. I was getting my breakfast together when like cruiserweights are out there. So, I mean, like, but I'm ready to talk about Daniel Bryan. I'm ready to talk about Braun Strowman. I'm ready to talk about the top of the show.
Let's start with Daniel Bryan, if you don't mind, because I have a question for you. And I feel like I did absorb the show. Where did they leave off with Daniel Bryan?
Getting attacked by Kane, I thought.
Okay. But he never left, did he?
Well, he left on a stretcher. They stretchered him out.
Oh, okay. So he left the building.
Yeah, he left the building on a stretcher, amping things up between Raw and SmackDown, like an unintentional Raw attack on SmackDown.
Right, yeah. I actually kind of like, in kind of like a Walking Dead kind of way, or just like, I know you don't maybe get the reference, but like, I kind of like how Daniel Bryan came on a peace mission to try to apologize for Shane's actions. I thought that was a little deep for wrestling. I kind of liked that.
I thought that was good. And then because it's wrestling, he got attacked and stretchered out because of it. Good.
No, but that's okay. I feel like I just thought that, like, you know, because Daniel seemed uncomfortable with it on Tuesday. You could tell it was weighing heavily on his character. And then he came to apologize and do the right thing and wound up regretting it. And I thought that kind of did some things. So I don't know.
Made total sense.
Yeah.
I took umbrage with Daniel Bryan's acting again. They had to rely on his acting this time, and it was just pretending to be scared of the lights being out and pretending to be mad, and he's just not. It's just not his thing.
And he knows it, man. He doesn't want to do it. Like, you can tell it's just very obvious he's not enjoying this role, and that's such a shame because I feel like there's no doubt when his contract is up, he wants to go somewhere and wrestle, and it won't be WWE. And it's such a shame to me.
It is a shame.
I haven't been taking a lot of notes recently, but I took a lot of notes last night. I'll start with those if you don't mind. Stephanie McMahon went full McMahon yesterday.
Absolutely. I have a hot take on Stephanie McMahon, actually.
Sure. What's your hot take?
My hot take is I think, not from a popularity standpoint, but from a performance standpoint, she is the best of all McMahons.
Who are we considering as McMahons? We've got Vince, Shane, Stephanie, and Linda, obviously. Does that include Triple H now?
I wouldn't include Triple H because she's not going to beat him on a promo. Although she's darn near close. I mean, that was okay. She cuts an incredible promo. She's got her character nailed. Sometimes she gets distracted by the crowd, and the writing's not that great. But I loved that promo last night. I thought that was incredibly well done. And when you compare it to Daniel Bryan, it definitely wins.
It beats Daniel Bryan, but that's saying nothing. I feel like it was too much. I don't need all the over the top. I feel like she could have gotten that message across without being that, what I'll call 200% McMahon. Just like, it just becomes such a cartoon where it's just like, okay, you could do what you did in a believable way, but the McMahons always take the over-the-top way.
But that's believable. To me, when a McMahon goes crazy, it's believable. Like, I had no problem with it. Her going full McMahon, it's great. I like full McMahon. I'm okay with it.
Let me tell you something I definitely wasn't okay with.
Okay.
You had the whole opening segment. And by the way, they covered a lot. For example, they covered Kurt Angle is going to be wrestling at Survivor Series.
You're excited.
Well, now I get a chance to be excited for a Kurt Angle match. Plus, it's on back-to-back pay-per-views. Like, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. So there's that. And then also, if Raw's team loses, Kurt will no longer be GM, which seems like a real possibility for me because he might be going into more of a wrestling role, which to me is like bone-inducing in my pants. Like, I love this.
Let's do it.
So there's that. And then we're talking about how much we hate SmackDown. SmackDown can't beat us. We are the better brand. We hate SmackDown. They go to break, and they come back with literally a commercial for SmackDown. Drives me nuts. This stuff drives me nuts. We're supposed to... Can you at least separate it? Can you at least separate it from the promo?
Was it a USA promo? Maybe USA, they can't stop USA from running promos for SmackDown.
I know, and I know it's, as Mike says, because wrestling, it just annoys me. This whole angle's gone over the top, too. It's gone full McMahon. You know what I mean? What?
I just love that reference. I like the way to refer to it as that. And sometimes I agree that that's a bad thing. And I don't like this angle at all. So I agree with you there, but I thought Stephanie was good. But just saying, like, this whole thing's just gone so McMahon. It's so full-blown 200% McMahon.
Well, I feel like I'd almost appreciate it more if it was just like even a friendly rivalry, which I know is not the wrestling way to handle it. But the Walking Dead all-out war way of handling it is is too much on the other side.
It's too abrupt anyways. Like, I don't mind things boiling over, but I don't turn the stove on and then immediately have boiling water. It has to heat up.
That's a great reference too. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Come on.
I'm going to move past Stephanie unless you want to. Is there anything else you want to say about Stephanie?
No, she cuts the best promo of anyone of all time. That's it. That's my hot take.
Okay, that's the hot take. That's Valeri, not me.
I'm going 200% McMahon with my take.
All right, so Jerry's got the hottest takes in the biz. Up next was a women's segment featuring, it was supposed to be Bayley and Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox, I'm warming up to. You said you're already there, aren't you?
I am there. Her in the captain's hat. First of all, she's super smoking hot, and two, she's doing a really good job in this role. Like, I like her as the captain. It's kind of memorable. It's funny.
So, and I know that this is the point, and I know that she's a heel, so she can get away with stuff like this. I just found a major inconsistency with her. So Bayley comes out to the ring, and then Alicia Fox's entrance happens, and Alicia Fox says that she doesn't have time to wrestle Bayley. So she introduces Nia Jax. And I guess she has the time to watch Bayley wrestle Nia Jax, but doesn't have time to wrestle Bayley.
That's hilarious.
I know she's a heel. And, yeah, I know. Right. I know. I get it, but I don't.
It's a rib.
I know. Not a rib.
It's a rib.
Is that a rib?
Is that a rib? Are you ribbing me?
You rib me right now? No, it's too early for doots. All right, so that was my thought on that. Nia Jax is back.
Oh, excuse me while I yawn and pee my pants. Like, who cares?
Interesting that she's back. I'm going to say probably a coincidence, but maybe not. My understanding is she walked out because she was upset. Nia was upset that Emma got the match with Asuka. Nia didn't want to do jobs for people. Nia being a big old baby. I told you how I thought about that in the last week's episode. But now, right after they announce Emma has been future endeavored, now Nia returns. I wonder if that is a coincidence or if there was really something going on with Nia and Emma.
But do you think Nia has the stroke for them to can Emma because of her?
No, not specifically like that, but maybe it just became part of the reason. Emma.
The releases were what? Darren Young, Emma.
There was one more I can't remember.
Summer Rae.
Yeah, I feel like that's not a loss at all. When you figure the fact that they're going to put that money into probably new talent, it's probably a win.
None of the three really bother me. I know Emma, some people really liked her. I thought she had a good match against Asuka, but who cares?
Dude, like, this is the thing. There's a lot of people, even a lot of people on the post show, who get real enamored with these people based on their work in NXT. And that is a valid response, in my opinion. For some of these people, those talents are not crossing over to the main roster for whatever reason. And there's a few. I mean, we've mentioned several names that can apply to. We might not even have to mention it again. I don't know what the reason is, but we're
going to do it part of our award show this year. We're going to add the Better Luck Next Time.
Better Luck NXT Time.
Yeah, award for somebody that just comes up and it just doesn't work.
But I mean,
it happens so much.
I feel like it's going to be really tough to show me any Emma match, whether you want main roster or NXT. And I believe I saw the Asuka match, and I remember it being. I'm not talking about the most recent one at the pay-per-view.
You're talking about in NXT.
Yeah, wasn't that at a takeover show?
I don't know. I very rarely watched NXT for the longest time, especially when Emma was there.
I bet you I would not find any Emma match to be, quote, great. And
but I think the timing is a little weird, and it probably strengthens your conspiracy theory about Nia Jax. because they had a chance to can Emma, and it was back in the middle of the Emmalina, what are we doing? They could have just stopped, and no one would have noticed.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This happens all the time. We've talked about this before. I believe it was with you, but it may have been with someone else. But that oftentimes when they do these future endeavors, they always do a real short but hot push before one of them goes. I can't think of any previous examples, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
she's gone.
Yeah, so there's that. So I had more thoughts. Give me a second. My phone dimmed out. I took my notes on my phone. Let's move on to. Hold on 1 second. I apologize.
Next is Samoa Joe, really, but. Well, did you have any thoughts on that?
Real quick, I just want to shout out every time they do a job where I want to shout them out. Stacey Cullen. Congratulations, Stacey.
We say your name.
Yeah, so we speak your name. Yeah, Joe was next. And it did feel a little wasted. And let me tell you what I would have done with Joe. And I admit this would be hard to pull off because of Joe's body type. But this is what I would have done anyway. I would have had, you know how everyone was expecting Raw to invade SmackDown on Tuesday, and they didn't.
Right.
I would have had one hitman dressed in like a ninja outfit, almost like a tight black ninja outfit with a mask on, and that one ninja, that one lone assassin, so to speak, takes out everyone in the back with the same kind of intensity that the entire SmackDown roster did for Raw.
But one at a time.
One at a time, and just leaves everybody, and even sometimes more. He could go into a room and just take out the room. You know, maybe it's like no more than 4 guys in it. And you don't know who he is. And then eventually leading up to or at Survivor Series, that person unmasks, and it's Joe. And I admit it'd be tough with his body type, but I don't know. It's something I feel like. It would have been a better...
You're saying it's tough with his body type because we'd recognize him immediately.
Right. Or maybe he could have been in loose-fitting ninja outfit, like a gi.
Or you don't ever really even need to see him, do you? You could just keep cutting back to, back when Enzo was getting attacked. Just keep cutting back to people getting attacked and not knowing where it's coming from or who did it.
Or maybe the camera always just gets the tail end of it. You don't really get a good shot of the guy. I just feel like that would have been a cool, just to have him be just like a Samoan headhunter on SmackDown. And he did all the damage that SmackDown did with their entire roster by himself, creeping in the shadows. That would have been awesome, wouldn't it?
Would have been awesome. And ninjas don't get caught on tape. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I just think that they could have done something really cool with this and blew it.
But they got in a match with him and Apollo Crews, see. It looks like they're starting a program with him and Titus Brand. So, I mean, yeah, your idea is definitely, main event. But this is Apollo Crews and Titus Brand.
Right. You're right. That's WWE.
This is kickoff show stuff, man.
The main event of the kickoff show?
It would be a main event. Poor Joe.
Yeah,
they did this because they're afraid of his knee. They're afraid of his ring rust. You think they wanted to warm him up? I think that's stupid.
I don't think that his injury.
Stupid.
I was always under the impression his injury was very minor.
So post to post, can you unanimously stamp the Samoa Joe return as stupid?
It was poor. Can I just ask you, what do you think of my fantasy angle?
I love it.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Absolutely love it. 100. I give it 100%. It's an A+.
Next came Daniel Bryan appearing. We kind of talked about that. Had its ups and its downs.
I think you are the Stephanie McMahon of writing angles.
What do you mean? Oh, you're saying the Stephanie cutting a promo is me writing an angle?
Yeah, both A+.
Thanks, pal. I really.
She's great. She was great last night.
I admit I don't write the best angles. I admit that I've got some work I could do. I've only got one winner under my
No, I'm saying you do, and I'm saying she writes the best. She does the best promos.
What do you think about Paul Heyman's promo last week? Didn't you love it?
She's the best McMahon.
What's the Christmas tree doing here?
Happy holidays.
Happy birthday, Jake the Snake. What's next? Kane choke slams Finn Balor. Thoughts on that?
I want to believe Kane is a monster. I know what they're trying to do. I know where they're taking us. But it's hard to believe him with that body type. It's hard to believe in Kane as the monster when I know he's running for mayor of Cobb County, Georgia. I'm having the hardest. I'm just having the hardest time.
Okay. It was around this time I started to notice something very strange on Raw. And you might not notice it, especially if you watched in two chunks.
Yes.
They were pulling a very ECW-like move in that I don't know how much ECW TV you watched back in the day, but a lot of times their matches would bleed into other matches. And what I mean by that was, if you remember, Joe kind of just came out before his match started, but like he kind of came out at the end of the women's match. The women's match ends, and they're not even out of the ring yet, and Joe just starts walking to the ring. And then same with this. I'm trying to think of, I guess it was Kane, kind of just came out at the end of the match before it. And that's a very ECW like move, just kind of having, not resetting the table, just having one match bleed right into the next match.
I like it. I thought it was refreshing.
I don't know if that's their current writing style. It just happened twice last night on a show that I can't tell you last time that's happened on.
Right.
Once. So there was that. Boy, they're really putting Kane over. I'll tell you that. He beat Seth Rollins last night, right?
He beat Seth Rollins. He chokeslammed Finn Balor. He put Daniel Bryan in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing him hard.
He had a busy night.
I feel like, Seth Rollins will recover. Finn Balor's in kind of a fragile spot, but I think that they're trying to get the demon out of Finn.
Yeah, and he got a good win over Cesaro.
Yeah, but I guess he did. You're right. But still wound up looking like a chump after Kane choke slams him. And
right.
None of that. This is a 1 week after he destroys him in a legit match.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about Finn. Finn's another guy. Has good matches consistently, but I just don't see what everyone keeps telling me is there with him on the main roster. I'm just not seeing it.
I definitely see a charisma with him, and his matches are good, and I like him as the Demon more than Arthur Fonzarelli. But I haven't seen this anything that convinces me that he can legitimately carry the title and believably in my mind.
I heard they just they reworked plans for the Royal Rumble. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
Mm-mm.
The Royal Rumble was supposed to be originally Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor. And then for whatever reason, Vince got really cold on that all of a sudden and doesn't want Finn in the main event anymore. And I'm not sure I disagree with him.
It'd be hard to believe Finn against Brock Lesnar just based on body type.
And just like, he's just not at that spot in the card. He's just getting jobbed out left and right. And yeah, I don't know that we could get there in time for the Rumble. Maybe in this day.
So who gets there? Did they ever say who they're getting hot on?
No, I don't know the answer to that one. So I had a few more notes I wanted to throw at you here.
I hope you bring up the one thing.
Okay, what about the Trick or Street fight?
There it is.
I had thoughts about this.
I liked it better last year when Enzo was in it. Enzo and Cass were involved. And Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were involved in that one last year too.
Well,
the Trick or Street fight, I don't know. It's corny, but I like all the decorations and hitting each other with the candy corn kendo sticks. I liked it.
So here's what I thought. In some ways it looked big, in some ways it looked little. For example, all those really well-carved pumpkins, there were dozens of them lining the ring. I thought that was kind of unique. For one match, I can deal with that. I don't need a whole pay-per-view with them lining the ring, but yeah, for a match, cool. And they took time. Like, there were a lot of jack-o'-lanterns. There were a whole bunch of apples in that apple bobbing bucket. There were other pretty legit-looking Halloween props. And then you get to the actual boys wrestling. 2 of them are dressed like Santa. 2 of them are dressed like Southpaw Wrestling. It's just stuff that they had on hand. You couldn't have stopped and gotten some real costumes.
Yeah, their costumes reminded me a lot of minor league baseball. Like there's a room in Medler Field at Lebrano Park where the State College Spikes. They're the single A summer ball affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, and they play here in State College, and I work for them. They have a promotional closet called the Fun Room, and in the Fun Room there's like junk costumes like this. They're like, oh, we need someone to run out and a sombrero. And so they just grab it. That's all they did here. It's like they went to a fun room and just grabbed stuff. Not a lot of thought went into their costumes.
Yeah, but their fun room is probably on a props department in a truck. So it's probably not that deep. I could have really gone for some real costumes to put this over for me. Personally.
Although Rhino dressed as Mrs. Claus is pretty great.
Was that last night and I just missed it?
What?
When did Rhino dress as Mrs. Claus? Help me.
He was in like a dress.
Last night?
Yeah, it's Santa dress.
I must have gotten up or something from that. I don't remember Rhino at all being on the show.
The trick or street fight. We're talking about the same thing, right?
I thought it was. Oh my goodness. You know what, Jared? You put me in the mentality that it was Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo and Cass. I'm sorry. I'm tired, and my head was in the wrong match. I really apologize.
I thought I screwed something up seriously. I was like, well, did I screw something up?
I'm sorry.
No, last year's was Enzo's and Cass. This year was Heath and Rhino.
I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I know I didn't pay that much attention to it because why should I? It's the trick or street fight. And I'm sorry. I zoned there for a second. That was my fault.
You know what? Happy birthday, Jake the Snake Roberts.
I'll be honest with you, less than 1 hour of sleep.
Oh my God. What happened? Why? What did you do?
I was just up all night. Just stressing out about stuff.
Oh man.
And
you could have texted me. Guess who was up early? I was up at 3 this time.
That's about when 3's 2 my time, but that's when I was. And then, like, I finally get to sleep, and my dogs wake me up to go to the bathroom, which they don't usually do.
Well, when you're having a hard time sleeping, you know what works.
I wasn't gonna.
Why weren't you gonna? I can't think of a time when I don't wanna. You just give it a tug, and you're done, and you're asleep in 10 minutes.
I don't think it wouldn't have gotten the job done. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it last night.
I could always get in the mood.
I would have woken somebody up.
Go in another room.
Well, then she'd know what's going on.
Zip and zap and zoop. Get it done.
Well, it didn't happen last night for whatever reason.
No rubbity rubs.
You're being so veiled. Man, no one knows what you're talking about.
No, nobody.
What else did I have? Oh, okay. So, a few more things.
The old pulley.
All right, Jared, you're talking too much in code. You're too inside. Kayfabe.
The old masturbator-ooski.
I lost my hat. Hold on 1 second.
That's what the M on his hat stands for. Masturbator-ooski.
Super masturbator-ooski.
All
right.
Watch out! I get one of those flowers. I'm shooting more than fireballs.
All right, listen. I got 2 more notes. Unless there's anything else you want to cover.
Happy birthday, Jake Roberts.
Happy birthday, Jake the Snake. All right. You might have a better take on this than me since you watched 205 live. I kind of appreciate the odd couple pairing of Enzo and Gulak.
I love it. I love Gulak doing his Enzo impression, butchering the soft stuff. I love it.
Yeah, intentionally. I don't know. I thought it was, I don't need it every time, but I thought it was interesting. I liked it last week too. There was a shot last week that had me cracking up. And I know I'm going back a week, but when Enzo had the team of, it was with him, it was 5. Remember there was 5 guys?
Yeah, they were doing the dance.
They all did the dance on the ramp. Oh my God. It looked like bad choreography for like a background dancers in a music video. Oh my God. I recorded it on my phone. It was so funny.
Listen, if they keep doing bad dance moves and purposefully doing bad promos, they're going to end up as part of the Titus brand.
Yeah, and you know, maybe one day Enzo will cut as good a promo as Stephanie McMahon, and I mean, he's on his way. I feel like
she cut the best promo of the night.
Oh, maybe last night. I mean, I could consider that.
She's a 10 out of 10 at a promo.
So then,
and I realized it last night. I just realized it. She's the best of McMahon.
Okay, now
she's the best.
Are you doing it? Okay, the best McMahon is one thing. Are you legit giving her a 10 out of 10 on her promo abilities?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm giving her like a 7 or an 8, though. I'm giving her more credit than I think she gets just because she's Stephanie McMahon. Like, I hear the music and I groan because I don't like her character, but I think she as a performer is excellent. I think she's really taken it seriously. She's twice as good as her brother. I think she's way better than Shane. I hate Shane McMahon promos. Her dad has become a cartoon, and her mom is Linda. So it's not hard to be the best of the McMahons. I think she's the best of the McMahons.
That I can give you. I'd have to sit and think about it, but I'm willing to meet you there. But a 10 out of 10. I have a laundry list of names I need you to watch before I can tell you that's a 10 out of 10.
Well, I think as far as promos goes, you know, it's Roddy Piper, it's Stephanie McMahon, then Jake the Snake Roberts. Bing, bang, boom.
There it is. Happy birthday, Jake, by the way.
Hot takes.
All right. So my last few notes all stem from the final stuff. And I don't mean the women's match. I'm talking about the stuff with The Miz. Sure. And let me just get the ball rolling by saying 2 things. Number 1, I am not opposed to what happened because it's wrestling. And as far as writing goes, there's been worse. But again, if you take the grown-up, we're trying to look at wrestling as real kind of mentality, there are so many things that made my head explode from that segment last night. Like, for example, why are we so concerned with when The Miz is leaving? Why are the cameras following The Miz out while he's leaving? Why are there cameras in Miz's limo? Not even one, but multiple cameras for multiple angles.
Because he's an A-lister.
And then why are there cameras ready for the trash? I think there was so many things that from a wrestling is real standpoint exploded off the page for me. But that being said, if you're willing to get past it, like we all should because they're wrestling fans, what'd you think of Miz and Strowman last night?
I thought Strowman was very nimble running up on that limo.
Yeah, I feel like that was a memorable shot. That's already a meme. I've seen a few memes of Braun Strowman running, like someone owes him money.
I like Braun Strowman. I like what they did there. I think it's interesting, they've got this angle with Kane and Braun Strowman that we're going to get to. The Miz and Baron Corbin's what they're building to with Survivor Series, but Braun Strowman killing Miz had to happen.
You kind of called this. You got one thing wrong. Like you said that Kane and Braun Strowman would start a feud at TLC. It just wound up, we both agreed that Kane would probably be the babyface. Looks like Braun's going to be the babyface in that feud right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But you called that happening.
I get a broken clock is right twice a day. That's how it works.
That's the way I feel about my fantasy booking.
Yeah, it's good sometimes. I mean, we can't all be Stephanie McMahon. I hated that crowd last night because they did the what chant all night long. That's my last note.
I didn't even notice, really. I guess maybe I'm just numb to it. Where was it? Where was the show last night?
I don't know. Stupid place, stupid.
It was Baltimore, wasn't it? Now I think about it.
I want to say it was in Colorado, but that's not true.
It was Baltimore.
But in my video game, I just had a pay-per-view in Colorado, and that's why I think.
It was Baltimore.
Colorado Springs.
Baltimore.
Cobb County, Georgia.
Santa Clara.
To be exact. Listen, I liked it. Braun Strowman, I like. Miz, I like. I think that'll be a fun program. I think that would be a fun program.
Miz and Strowman, yeah, I feel like you're right. The Kane Strowman feud will be immediate, and then after Miz gets past Corbin, you're looking at Miz and Strowman, maybe Rumble time.
And then you got then more than likely, the first strap they put on Braun Strowman will be the wrong one, but he'll get the Intercontinental Championship at some point.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about from the show last night from Baltimore?
Unless you want to talk more about Stephanie McMahon, I feel like I'm good.
All right. Why don't we just wrap things up then?
Happy Halloween, Rob.
To you too, bud. Will you dress up tonight?
Oh, absolutely not. But I will be drinking alcohol and walking with my kids.
Boy, it's surprising to me that you're a Halloween Grinch. As much as you love holidays and excuses to have fun like that, I'm surprised that you don't jump all over.
I might wear a mask, but don't call me a Grinch, because guess what I'm going to do tomorrow morning?
What's that?
I'm going to start celebrating Christmas.
Well, I know we know you love Christmas, but you're being a Halloween Grinch for sure.
Bah humbug.